Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent. I was a teaching instructor when I was there. I'm going to talk to you today about how much should you pay a tax resolution company. I've been doing this probably longer than anyone you're going to speak to. I started working at IRS in '73. I wrote a book. I'm not trying to sell the book. Just letting you know how much are the charges. Well, let me just, in 2 minutes, here's what you need to know. If you're going to use a big box firm, they're advertising, they're following you around, you see their ads pop up, you're going to pay the salesman 20%, the company 20%. You're going to pay all their advertising costs. All that's built in. You're paying, most of your fees are going to advertising costs and salesperson. The person doing the work at that company is getting the least amount of money. Person sits in a back office, they send the powers of attorney in, they work the IRS cases. The money isn't made there, the money is made in the sales room, just so you know. So if you're looking and finding out how much is it going to cost, that you're asking the wrong question. The right question you need to ask is, what is the result going to be? I'm sorry, I have putting some too much sun over the weekend. I'm putting some aquifer on my lips. What's the result going to be? First of all, big box firms are going to rip you off because you're paying 80% more for marketing, advertising, salesperson costs. So a good resolution company probably will charge you anywhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000, depending on the work that's required, unless you're doing an offer and compromise to settle that. Remember, I wrote a book on IRS settlement, so your case is dependent really on what has to be done and what has to be achieved. Here's what people call me. I've been doing this so long. I work thousands of cases. As soon as they get on the phone, they say, how much is it going to cost? Well, I don't even know what your problem is half the time. I really don't. I have to discover what your problem is before I can say what that cost is going to be. So what you need to ask is, what are you going to do for me? What's a respected result? And what's that cost, and what does it take? And what you really need to do, you need to Zoom with that person. Never hire a tax resolution company unless you Zoom. You want to look that person in the eyes like they're looking at me and say, hey, what are you going to do for me? I want to retain you, but tell me, what can I expect? What sort of result? Or even over the phone, that person needs to be able to tell you exactly what they should expect for that representation. If that person who's taking your call is not working your case, or that their associate isn't working their case, if they're sending it to a back office, you are screwed blued, because that person is just there to bill you. That person is just there to bill you. They're to pick the fee up, sign the sales contract, and send you along. So how much should you pay a fee? It all depends on what's being done. It's really truthful. There is not one piece. I have had cases where we settled $2 million debts, $2 million in tax, $5 million, and some 50,000, some 20,000. So it all depends on that work. So there is not one fee that covers all. A true professional will start to say, what am I looking at? What am I doing? And then I'll be able to tell you, and then I should be able to tell you exactly what I have to do to achieve that goal. Don't believe anything else. I've been doing this longer than anyone you're ever going to speak to. I guarantee it. I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this since 1973. Anyway, give me a subscription. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.